Hello, today I'm going to share a picture I made recently. It's a mixed media piece and incorporates my favourite things, really, which are texture and colour, faded glamour, vintage, distressed, those sorts of things. And I realise I haven't had a lot of time for creativity recently, what with one thing and another. And I think I can really measure my well-being by amount of play I have in my life. And by play, I mean creativity. And I think it's such an important thing. And when we lose that, it's often because we're living in more in survival mode and day to day, just having to get through the days. So here's to getting back to more creative living, and I hope you enjoy. This is the picture I made recently with a friend. I started with a board and some tea-dyed lace and cotton, and I also chose some pieces of vintage looking writing and sheet music, and the sheet music had the lines, "May all thy daughters be fair," which I thought was quite a good quote for the piece that I was preparing, because I knew I wanted to include a picture of a female. I hadn't decided quite what yet or who. And this is the frame I chose, which has some vintage style red velvet, and it's really textured, and that's what I like very much. I'm interested in different textures and materials and softness and the feeling of it being old and historical in some way. So I choose the colours that I like and the softness of lace and velvet in particular. And here are some buttons I chose, mother of pearl buttons, and some old, again, mesh lace and vintagey looking pieces, including some, I suppose it's some sort of, I'm not exactly sure what that is. Anyway, some different pieces of material that I thought would be helpful and would suit the piece. Now, I then chose a picture of Gillian Anderson as Miss Havisham in her wedding dress. She's one of my favourite characters. Certainly Gillian Anderson's version I love. And she was stuck in her wedding dress, having been jilted at the altar, and time stopped for her at that point. And I again made that into a sort of grungy looking, old, distressed picture to be the focal point for this piece. I then decided to go for various other antique materials, including this lovely old piece of gold taffeta type material that looked like a theatre curtain to me. So then I wanted to put a piece on the inside and the outside of the frame as if it's spilling out. There's something about having things coming out of the picture that I love. I then found some other pieces of lace and velvet that I used to make a kind of frame within a frame on the left-hand side. I looked for some beads or pearls that I thought would look suitably aged, and all the colours to my eye go together along with these old buttons and petals. And I found a little locket that my grandparents gave me, and I thought that would go nicely within the picture, another feminine touch. Here's a photo of the finished picture and the back of the frame that I had to build up because of all the different elements. Also some details of the picture and a shot with vintage lighting that I do think suits it very well.